Welcome to the American Council of the Blind of Virginia's Voices of Vision, a live Zoom broadcast where we conduct 30-minute interviews with inspiring guests making an impact in the blind and low vision community. ACBVA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We appreciate your support. Enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Deborah Hill.
And
And
I'm Maria Evangelista.
Maria and I are your hosts for ACBVA's new Zoom broadcast show, Voices of Vision. We are so excited to be here today with you, and we have Teresa Breeden as our tech support, and she is also ACBVA's treasurer. And at the end of the show, she will announce some fabulous opportunities for you to contribute and support ACBVA. So let's get started with our first guest. We are so excited to welcome Roseanne Ashby, who is the Vice President for ACBVA. Welcome, Roseanne.
Thank you so much, Deborah and Maria. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, we are wonderful. We are feeling wonderful to have you all here in this show. But anyway, we are here to ask you how you first came across with ACBVA and became a member.
Okay, thanks. I can talk about that for sure. I became a member of ACBVA back in the late 80s when I moved to Washington. I wanted to share with you, I grew up in Ohio and then I moved to Washington in 1987 to take a job with the federal government. And but one important thing about my history is that I am a child of the independent living movement, which is a cross-disability movement that really came out of the civil rights movement and the women's movement. And so in the early 70s, people with disabilities uh, banded together to fight for their rights. And so that is something that I'd like you to know about me. And so when I came to Washington, I knew that I wanted to, of course, do well professionally, which I was in the Department of Education and the Rehabilitation Services Administration, but I also wanted to give in terms of advocacy and to be involved with other blind and low vision people. So that is when I started with ACB and ACBVA.
Great. That is so interesting. And we are so excited that you became a part of ACB of Virginia and began to work in support of its mission and vision. So, can you share with us the mission and vision of ACBVA?
Yes, of course, Deborah. So I just want to share that we created a strategic plan about a year and a half ago. So I'm going to read the vision because if I don't, I'll get it mixed up. But it's really inspiring to create a Virginia where there is equity, inclusion, and accessibility for people who are blind or who have low vision, empowering them to learn, work, play, thrive in order to achieve their potential and pursue their goals and dreams. And this is what everyone wants, regardless of whether they have a disability or not. And so we are about taking blind and low vision people wherever they are in their blindness journey and helping them along the way to achieve their potential and pursue their hopes and dreams. So that's the vision. Now, the mission. So, what is the mission? To bring together Virginians who are blind or who have low vision together with our partners to create opportunities for friendship, personal growth, independence, community, education, employment, and advocacy. So that's our mission. Now, I will tell you that we are a growing organization. I want to say this because we just 3 years ago, we had maybe 50 some members. And when we wrote the strategic plan, one of our goals was to double our membership to 128 because it was a 64 at that time. So we wanted to double it to 128. We wanted to double our resources. So we wanted to do resource development and fundraising, and that's something that you're going to hear more about later. And we also wanted to get people involved in advocacy at the national, state, and local levels. And so that was another of our goals in our strategic plan.
That's wonderful. But it's always nice to be a member of an organization because there is a sense of belonging. Can you actually share with us what would be the benefits of being a member of ACB of Virginia?
Besides being around all these wonderful people throughout the state, I would
Yes.
say that is the best thing, right? But
Yes.
yeah, let me talk about our activities. So we have a program meeting on the second Monday of every month at 7 p.m. And these program meetings can be about a whole variety of topics. We get speakers, throughout the state. We've done a recent one on what it's like to have a guide dog and why choose a guide dog. And the involvement, the challenges of that, and the good things about that. We had one on self-employment, blind people on being entrepreneurs and how to do that. And we had two successful entrepreneurs share their stories. We've had someone talk about transportation, an advocacy in transportation. We've had a lady talk about the history of blind people in the state of Virginia. So the program meetings can be on all sorts of different topics. On the second Tuesday of each month at 3 p.m., we have a virtual meetup. So, right now, a lot of our activities are virtual. And this is a really fun opportunity for members to just get to know each other and talk about not just blindness issues, although certainly that's fine. Tips and tricks about dealing with challenges of being a blind or low vision person, but also just sharing and becoming friends. So that's our virtual meetup. Then we have a book club on the fourth Thursday of each month at 7 p.m. And that is open to everyone. We all read a different book, although we might change the format up a little bit in the future. But we all read a different book and we share that book. And then we share the list of the books that everybody's been reading in our monthly newsletter. And finally, we have a fiber arts group, which meets the first Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. And Teresa heads that up. And that is for anybody who loves to do fiber arts, which is knitting and sewing and crocheting and any of those wonderful things. So those are the four activities that we have. We're looking at some other things in the near future. Stay tuned for those. Maybe some things involving helping people with assistive tech, maybe some things about some peer-to-peer mentoring, but we don't have all that sorted out yet. But we really want to connect our members and we want to get people more involved.
And getting people involved is important, as you stated in the beginning about how you were so involved with advocacy. And so we'd like you to talk a little bit more about self advocacy and advocacy for others when it comes to the American Council of the Blind of Virginia.
Okay, great. Um, Advocacy is near and dear to my heart. So, as a state affiliate of the American Council of the Blind, of course, we support the initiatives that come down from the national organization. We, as a state affiliate, are actually crucial in helping to shape those initiatives. But I'll just share a couple of the national initiatives that we've been very involved in over the last few years. One of them is a proposed bill called the Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act. It was reintroduced in Congress this past spring, and this is to help software and mobile applications to be accessible to meet our needs. Many of us have challenges with some websites and some mobile apps. We've all encountered those buttons on the website that are inaccessible, and we've encountered graphics that don't read to us. We've tried to fill out forms, and those are not always easy to do. And the critical thing to know about this is that everyone has to be computer literate these days, just in terms of employment, in terms of managing finances, in terms of going to school. And blind and low vision people need to have access. So we're very committed to this particular proposed bill. Another thing I want to share is the Communications, Video, and Technology Accessibility Act, which is the CVTA. And this builds on the very successful 21st Century Communications and Video Accessibility Act, which was passed in 2010. And that gave us um, TVs, smart TVs starting in 2016 that spoke to us, that we could manage to program ourselves. It also gave us access to cable TV in terms of the audio description, which was wonderful, but it didn't provide for a lot of audio description. I won't go into all the technical details of that, but this new bill, if we can succeed in getting it passed, would expand the number of TV markets where audio description is available. It would expand the hours of audio description. It would also make streaming services and video conferencing services accessible. And of course, in the last 15 years, those things have increased, in popularity and in use. Another of the national initiatives is the Medical Device Non-Visual Accessibility Act, and this pertains to at-home medical devices that people use to manage their diabetes and their heart conditions and blood pressure. And it's, basically to provide these devices, make them accessible, in terms of having audible sounds or tactile markings so that a blind person can function independently and doesn't have to ask for assistance to manage their medical needs at home. Just a couple of other things. We are very much involved in public transit and making that accessible and enforcing the regulations or supporting enforcement of the regulations. For instance, when you take a bus, they're supposed to announce the stops. And so if that doesn't happen, blind people in their local community need to speak up. Paratransit, that's the complementary transit. It's complementary to the public fixed route transit, and it's often provided by cab companies or some of those kinds of companies, so that people have to arrange for their ride the day in advance. But we want those services to be timely, to be accessible, to meet our needs in terms of going where we need to go, not to be restrictive in terms of trip purpose and all that type of thing. We've also done a lot of advocacy around service animals. People with service animals often have challenges when they get into a rideshare vehicle like an Uber or a Lyft. and they need to be able to access those services. And so there's been advocacy around that. There's been advocacy around making currency accessible. Many other countries have accessible currency with like all tactile markings or different sizes or whatever. United States is behind, and we've advocated for that. Audible pedestrian signals when people cross busy streets. There's a way to make those traffic signals make certain sounds that tells you when it's safe to cross. They either make a sound or they announce to walk at a certain time. And those, again, are very important for blind and low vision folks to be able to move around their community. So these are just some examples. We are constantly, working on advocacy. And this particular year, because of the funding cuts that have occurred and some of the staff cuts that have happened in the federal government, we have been very active in terms of advocating for these services that they not be cut, that we have enough staff to at the federal level to administer these services to meet our needs, particularly, with vocational rehabilitation services that help people prepare for employment, in terms of special education services for children who are blind and low vision, all those things, health services, Medicaid services, all of that. So that's been a particular concern this year.
Wonderful. I understand that you have different activities, and there is an upcoming event that you're going to be doing, the ACBVA. Can you say something about that? Talk about that so that people will be knowledgeable and they might want to join us. And we are, of course, inviting all of them.
Maria, I'm so glad you asked because I am super excited about this state convention. We have not met on a statewide basis in person since before the pandemic. So that's what is really exciting. And we are going to be meeting in Fredericksburg, Virginia, at the Hilton Garden Inn, and it will be October 17 to 19. Registration is only $50. The hotel is lovely. We have a very exciting agenda planned, which I won't get into all the details, but we're going to be covering advocacy and tips and tricks on managing your household and emergency preparedness for blind and low vision people, all kinds of wonderful things. So I'm super excited. We welcome everyone, members and non-members alike, but we're very excited about this convention. And you can find details about our convention on our website, acbva.org.
Thanks so much, Roseanne. And we can't forget that there is opportunities to be sponsors and exhibitors at the state convention as well, which is a great segue for Teresa Breeden to close with important opportunities for contributing to ACBVA.
Thank you, Deborah. So, fundraising fun is here. The road to the 2025 ACBVA convention is paved with awesome fundraising opportunities, and we want you to join the fun. Right now, until the end of September, we have a Scentsy sale going on. Stock up on your favorite scents while supporting ACBVA. Cozy candles, warmers, and more. Then we have our tote bag fundraiser. Grab our heavy duty navy tote with a zipper and pocket, perfect for events, errands, and showing off your ACBVA pride. Then a new fundraiser we're starting is t-shirts with our logo on them. Fresh, comfy shirts with our logo. Wear it, share it, and help spread the word. Every purchase helps bring us closer to our convention goals. Plus, it's a chance to shop with a purpose and show your ACBVA spirit. You, if you want to just donate, you can go to our website, which is www.acbva.org/donate. If you have questions or want to get involved, you can email us at communications@acbva.org. Let's make fundraising fun, fabulous, and full of community spirit.
Great. Thank you so much, Teresa. And thank you, Roseanne, for being our first guest on our exciting new show, Voices of Vision. Thank you, Maria, for being our co host, and Teresa for helping to make sure tech support went smoothly throughout and also leading the information about our fundraising activities. We are going to invite Roseanne back for our second show, which will air tomorrow live at 11 a.m. on this same Zoom broadcast link. Hope to see you there. Remember, continue
Thank
sharing
you.
your voice and your vision. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been the American Council of the Blind of Virginia's Voices of Vision. We hope you enjoyed the show. Music by Sam Lupica. Visit our website at acbva.org. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe with us on our YouTube channel. Email your story ideas to communications@acbva.org.